order the spatial board meeting. Okay, just a minute here.
Got it.
Like to call to order the spatial board meeting for Springboro Board of Education. Roll call, please. Oh, the date is May 6th, 2022.
Lisa's having issues here, so she
Okay.
just asked us to give her a second.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
I can't see her. I see her.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can.
Okay,
Good.
I gotcha. I'm on, thank you.
Should I start over?
No, you can just, I was just asking us just to pause
Okay.
while her sound
Thank
came
you.
up.
Roll call, please.
Gotcha. Anderson,
Here.
Bab.
Here.
Yuki,
Here.
Belage,
Here.
Goods.
Here.
Okay.
Dan for the pledge, and the flag should be on the screen, right?
Here it is right here.
There we go.
Hey, look at that.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, do I have a motion to adopt today's agenda?
So moved.
I'll second.
Is that Dan? Second?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was either me or Charles. Doesn't matter.
Okay, I'll grab Dan on this one. Okay, are you ready for a vote? I can't see anybody because I'm in
Yeah.
I'm on the agenda side. Anderson,
Yes.
Bab,
Yes,
Yuki,
Yes.
Belage,
Yes.
Goods.
Yes.
Okay.
Moving on to business section 2.1, approval of personnel report. Carrie?
Motion to approve.
I don't have it with me. Larry, do you have it because it was so late last night? 2.1 is the personnel report.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
You want me to share it? Or I don't know if I'm enabled to share.
So 2.1 is the personnel report. 2.2 is the approval of the contract for Elizabeth Beth Holtry as the secondary curriculum coordinator. 2.3 would be the amendment for Liz Gruber to be in alignment with, so that Beth and Liz are in alignment salary wise. And then I see 2.4 is an administrative contract for Brian Bales.
And then we'll have 2.5 is the athletic report. And we actually,
We're voting on them individually.
yes, they're all individual action items. So we'll start with 2.1 with the approval of the regular personnel report.
Is there a motion to accept the personnel report as is?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
I just had a question around Elizabeth Stoley, because she's currently working at central office. What is her role now? Or is she-
Elizabeth Stoley?
Or is she not? Am I confused on people?
Okay, you're confused.
That's Jennifer.
Yeah,
Stone.
Jennifer is, Elizabeth is the daughter. Is that what you're?
Oh, got you. Okay. That was my only question. Thank you.
Okay,
Okay.
roll call, go ahead.
Okay, Bab,
Yes.
Yuki,
Yes.
Belage,
Yes.
Goods,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes. 2.2, approval of the administrative contract for Elizabeth Holtry as secondary curriculum coordinator. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Roll call?
okay, Stuckey,
Yes.
Belage,
Yes.
Goods,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Bab,
Yes.
2.3 is approval of an amended administrative contract for Elizabeth Gruber as literacy coordinator. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. Dan,
Okay. Any discussion?
what is her current position?
She is the literacy coordinator. Liz Gruber.
So this, it's amended. What was the amendment?
Days, right?
It's just days.
No, it's salary to bring Beth and Liz in alignment.
Got you. Okay, thank you.
Roll call.
Anderson,
Yes.
Stuckey,
Yes.
Bab,
Yes.
Goods,
Yes.
Palage,
Yes.
2.4 is approval of administrative contract for Brian Bales as Coordinator of Behavior and Intervention Services. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I'm sorry, hold on a second. Palage and Goods. Okay,
Any discussion?
Yes. I shared yesterday in my questions and email, so I know this is not coming as a surprise. This has nothing to do with Brian as a person. I've heard wonderful things about him as a person. With the information that has been given, with what I asked yesterday, with what our assistant principals are currently being paid, when I look at their job responsibilities, and I understand that this does not require an administrator's license. I understand that. But when I look at what our assistant principals' positions are and responsibilities are, and what our principals' responsibilities are, and the days that they're being asked to work, and the salary ranges, I just can't get past hiring him in at $94,000 at 200 days. When I look, and I just summarized it for myself, that for principals at 220 days, we have a principal that is at 99,000, and I get it, doesn't have the year's experience. I understand that. But when we look at the responsibility level of such a huge, she's at 5 points. So when I look at, that's a huge building, and the amount of responsibility to that, I struggle when I look at, and I said at the last meeting, I support the job description because I think it's a great job description and I think it's right for kids. But when I look, that didn't have a cost of dollar amount to it. When I look at what the job description is versus what our principals and assistant principals, we've got 200 days for 6th grade and below that we just increased, which I supported that 100%, but they're between 82,000 and 100,000. And once again, I think about what the assistant principals are doing, and I'm just struggling. Nothing against, I don't know Brian. To be honest, I've heard really good things about him as a person. I'm thrilled he's coming to Springboro. So this has literally nothing to do about him, about the position. It is about us valuing those that are currently in our district and what their levels of credentials are and what we're asking of them versus bringing somebody in. And I know we have brought in new positions, new people, and we are hiring with some experience now. But to bring in with this much experience, with the job description, with this level of responsibility, and yet paying this much, I can't. I've tried it in every direction. I wrote it out, all the numbers and compared responsibilities and trying to figure this out in my head. And I just can't. My other concern, and this is not saying that Brian would do this, or that there's a reason that is justifying this. But when I look at the job description and the different components, I want to make sure he's supporting all the buildings. And seeing that later on in the agenda, we're voting on him as a basketball coach, which I support. I'll vote yes on that. I do want to make sure that our elementaries are open later. And I want to make sure, like, how are we going to divide his time and make sure that our buildings that are open later, that they are getting support later in the day, and that his time truly is being divided and really looking at where do we need. It's not saying that it's a sixth here, a sixth here, because that's not, the needs aren't going to necessarily be the same per building. But, you know, there's some, like, one of the things in the job description said, we will assign functions of extracurriculars by the principal, but there's 6 principals. So whoever, I think Andrea maybe is supervising, you know,
Yes.
how is that going to be decided? Because as a basketball coach, there's a lot of responsibility with that. And yet we have in the job description, since we chose to hire somebody, that we're also choosing to make a basketball coach, there's a lot of evening things with that.
Right.
So there was that concern that I just wanted to state that I would like updates, and just to know that we do have those supports across the board with all of our buildings, since we're funding this position. And the other 2 questions I had was, in preparing him for success, is he already fully trained in PBIS and restorative justice, or is that something we should put him through over the summer, like some training, so that he's ready to hit the ground running in August? And can he attend RTIs and take some of that off of our principals with having the credentials that he does? Those are my questions and my thoughts around this.
Okay.
We have addressed virtually all of those questions that you had with each of the candidates. We interviewed 4 people. This person will also be attending all of our DLT meetings, which is with our district officials, as well as principals, as well as the curriculum meetings with Andrea and the principals. We discussed this with the building principals. They're really excited about this person. We did not purposely say you're going to be, like you said, a sixth of the time you're going to be in this place, 6. But he knows that this person will be available and be moving. This person will not be a static position. As a matter of fact, when you do look at that job description, my assumption is you're going to have somebody that's going to be as busy as a high school principal or as a athletic director. This is going to be a very active, dynamic role. They're going to be busy. And so to say that it's not as important, or it's not not important, but it's not as have the responsibility. I think this is one of the most critical positions that we have moving forward. I think it really has an impact on the culture within all buildings, and obviously with like PBIS, and we've shared with every candidate that we're farther along at the elementary level, certainly not far in the 6 through 12 area. So we know that there's going to have to be a lot of attention to get that rolling and work with those coordinators. In terms of understanding that they're going to be in all the buildings, understanding they're going to be supporting principals, I think the principals are on board. They're excited about it. We think this is going to be a real positive shift within our district. Let's see, what else did I need?
Confusing basketball.
No, I don't think there's a confusion. I mean, I think that's just a smart thing. If our basketball program had a coach and was there, and Brian applied for just this position, I would have come to you with this position eventually anyway, just as we were, because I think it's needed. I think that over the course of the last 2 years, there are some strong needs in terms of coordinating our PBIS and excuse me, and touching with the, coordinating the borough ambassadors, coordinating within the buildings with RTI and trying to bring our tiers a little bit better and so that it's a little bit more robust. Absolutely. I think we're also looking at alternatives in the way we discipline, and this person will be able to start mapping and working with people, building principles specifically, but ultimately it has to bleed into the classroom as well, because that's the first line of contact with kids in terms of discipline. So we've already talked with everybody about training, and so everybody, all the candidates, I think we're on board with that.
So he has training on PBIS.
He will, but yes.
So he
will.
doesn't right now.
Well, his background is 6 years as a behavior intervention director.
Right, but does
2
he
years
have
as a
training
team.
on PBIS and restorative justice?
None of them did. But none of
that's
the
my
candidates have.
question, because this is a state law, and when you say this is the most critical role, and this is something I've been asking for months in the board meetings, and we were getting no updates to it. And I'm sorry, but when you say you would have come to us in the future with this regardless, yes. Larry, come on, we know that is not accurate. We are creating a position that it is ESSER funded. I support it 100% because it is right for kids. You are correct in that our 6th through 12th grade does need some extra help in this area. And that is why when I saw this job description, it excites me. But this wasn't created because we stepped back and said, grade 6 through 12 need extra help with this. Right. Let's just be honest with this. So my request is, if he doesn't have PBIS in this experience and we're approving this contract, that we make sure that he goes through all of this training this summer. And it's great that he has some behavioral intervention experience from the past, but there's something different than by law what we are instructed to do with PBIS and restorative justice.
I absolutely understand that. And yes, he's going to be trained, as would been anybody that would have went into this role.
Well, there's people that have PBIS experience. They might not have been the people you interviewed. That was my question, was does he have that experience? He doesn't, which is my question. So are we going to be able to train him before August 1, or does that training start August 1?
No, we will start training him. Absolutely.
Before August 1, or?
Yes.
Is with this position, can he help with RTIs, or does that not fit within?
No, I think we're gonna, we do want him to get, to start looking into that. I think part of that's, again, it's kind of like the PBIS. I think that's going to be an outreach of our DLT meetings and our curriculum meetings, who needs more support, because again, unfortunately, it's at different levels, a little bit at buildings. So yes, I think those things fall hand in hand. Certainly the behavior component of RTI.
Well, that's good to hear, because from my understanding, that is taking hours, sometimes days per week of our principals' time. Yeah. So that's stuff that we can take off of our principals with this position. As a board, last board meeting when we talked, since this is only funded for 2 years through ESSER, in 2 years, what we will be looking at, what I will be looking at, if we are going to put this into our general fund budget, is it making a difference in kids, in the impact that it's having on our students, and are our principals being able to do more because we're taking some things off of them. So that's great to hear because the RTI process is very involved. And if he's able to help with that, that's great. And I would hope that that starts as quickly as possible because it's such a time consuming process.
Just real quick, and you, excuse me, you talked extensively about him and basketball, you know, that his job, you know, has to be done so that he can do his, you know, coordinator's job to the best of his, you know, daily.
Oh, yeah.
His you know, the basketball schedule will work around that, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it doesn't stop for the winter months. No, absolutely not.
Okay.
No, this is going to be a busy position. Yeah.
But he's assured you he can do both and, you know, work it that way, right?
Yes.
Well, and I think that assuring you can do both and making sure that the principals are feeling supported, fully supported. And because in admin, when you're getting paid $94,000 a year, it's not necessarily just 7.5 hours of clock in, clock out type of deal. It is what truly does that building need? And it might need more here. And we need to know that we're hiring somebody in this position that can go that extra. As administrators, we all sometimes have to put in that extra time when something is needed. So that's what I'm looking for. It's not just during basketball season or during trainings, it's that whole bigger picture conversation.
Those were all the questions and that came up throughout the interview. And no, he understands that.
And who all was involved with the interview process?
Andrea and I.
With all of the 4 candidates?
Mhm.
Okay. Any other questions? Those are good questions. All right, we need a motion. No, we've already done that.
All right, I got a motion.
Okay.
Thank Jamie and
Okay.
Dan, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, roll call, please.
Balaje,
Yes.
Goods,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Bab,
Because of my concerns, it has nothing to do with him. No.
Stuckey.
Abstain. Okay. 2.5 is approval of the athletic report. Is there a motion to accept the report?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Okay. Bab.
I do have a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't see it.
No, I didn't say it until after. Can you just explain the volunteer and then the 2-year thing with Brian with basketball, just to be able to explain that out loud?
Because the person, fortunately or unfortunately, depends how you look at it, because our supplemental contracts are 1 year in length. Okay, so the basketball supplemental will be for next school year. Okay, however, these sports are year round anymore, so they're going to be working directly with kids starting this month. Well, some of our assistants have already been, so it's kind of a extra coverage for us to say, okay, he's approved to work with our kids. So it's kind of an evolution. We never used to do that, but I think, it's just a good safety piece for us. Like I said, because I think whether you're talking football or basketball, if they're new into the system, they've never been approved. So it's a good safety thing, I guess, for the district more than anything else.
I appreciate that we're doing that. I think we can't be too safe with those things. So I appreciate that we're doing that. And I just want to welcome him to the district because I'm thrilled that he's coming to Springboro. I truly am thrilled that he's coming. I've heard amazing things about him, his character, who he is as a person, and obviously his coaching. So I'm welcoming him to our district.
Good, thank you. All right, anything else?
Good.
Roll call, please.
Okay, Belage,
Yes.
Goods,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Bab,
Yes.
Stuckey,
Abstain. Is there anything else? Any comments or? I appreciate,
Didn't we have to vote on all? I thought at the beginning we said we had to vote 3 times on the athletic report. Is that not the case? Did I misunderstand that?
No, the personnel items were individual. Like,
Oh, I got you. Okay,
we're doing
sorry.
a consent
oh, yeah,
on the
Okay.
on the agenda there. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, people. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Anderson,
Yes.
Bab,
Yes.
Stuckey,
Yes.
Belage,
yes.
Goods.
Yes.
Thank you, people. I gotta hustle out of here for my
Thanks, guys.
Have a
appointment.
Good
great
Friday.
day.
Yeah, good
Have a
luck.
good
Thank
day.
you.